Looking at the Aussie yen here on the weekly time frame, you can see that we have pushed out of the 86.21 weekly supply zone, and it looks like we're coming down to 80.02. So only time will tell if that happens. We still have a few more dollars to move down into that aqua zone, so it does look like it's making the move to the downside here. So we'll be watching that weekly level really closely here. On the daily time frame, you can see that we've been pushing to the downside as well. We got a little gap to the upside here. I think it's going to go ahead and fill the gap and continue on down long term. So this week, I'm looking for us to do nothing but continue to the downside. Also be looking out at the 80.97 level that's just below this big yellow zone that we have from 81.11 up to 82.61. We've received a secondary bounce off this zone. I think we're going to continue on through this level though, as this level has been hit multiple times. The weekly level is down here at $80, so I'm looking for that move to continue on to the downside and see how that works out here this coming week. Moving over to the dollar yen. If you recall, in previous weeks, we were really looking at this zone here. Let me go ahead and find it with the cursor. We kind of outlined it at 109. Been looking at that level as a possible bounce to the upside. Well, it went a little bit lower, and it has bounced to the upside now, but it is now fresh supply that it is bouncing into from the weekly time frame. So because it went ahead and dipped below that 109 zone, I am now looking for price to continue to the downside, and hopefully we'll find some fresh resistance from some fresh supply that we can continue to the downside from this point on. Looking at the daily time frame, again, we can see this old demand zone that price just barely went through and then has kicked to the upside here. Here we are in some nice supply at 111 up to 112. Again, I'm looking for price to kick to the downside into these fresh support zones here and possibly go even lower as this thing has now turned from an uptrend to a downtrend type of deal. So this would be a wonderful area to be pushing the downside perspective as we are at a relatively high area, as supply and demand have flip-flops now, and it looks like we could be continuing on in that downtrend.